Hi everybody, I'm Dawn. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for visiting with me today. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about the Ruby, Frankie, Jodi Hildebrandt situation. Now, I feel like in the past couple of days since Ruby's journal came out that we are all forgetting about Jodi. You know, not really. I mean, people are still talking about Jodi. You know, she's still responsible for her part in all this, but I feel kind of like she's getting a pass, and that just may be my impression. I mean, I know people still believe she belongs in prison and stuff, but I still feel like, you know, people aren't looking at her so much anymore since Ruby's journal came out, because by reading Ruby's journal, we can see Ruby definitely, like, Jodi's influence was definitely there, but Ruby was definitely working on her own too. And so, but I don't think Jodi deserves any kind of grace, really. So I wanted to play one of her phone calls and then talk about that a little bit.
Mary, here, Dennis. Nobody wants the truth.
Yeah.
Nobody wants the truth. Nobody wants the truth because these kids, you know, I told Doug, I woke up, the Spirit told me, it's all the devil. I mean, you've seen him. I mean, I've known you, what, for 5 years? You've watched him come at me, come at me, come at me, come at me.
Mm-hmm.
And you're exactly right, because he knows I know what he's doing. And he uses these kids. And he uses all of us as the adults, the parents that don't hold the kids accountable. So now it's abusive to make a kid sleep on the floor. It's abusive. Or it's abusive to, you know, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You can't even raise your kids anymore.
First of all, Jodi, they weren't your kids. And secondly, this isn't about sleeping on the floor. This is about hog-tying a child. This is about hog-tying them so badly that when they move, they cause gashes in their skin, which you say, in another phone call I'm going to play, that you didn't do, that he did to himself. It wouldn't have happened if he wasn't tied up like that. This woman is just a piece of garbage. And she talks about how, you know, the children are possessed. It's the demons. It's the devil in the children. No, what you did, Jodi, what you did, not that she's ever going to hear this, but what Jodi did was of the devil. Now, I'm not a real religious person, but I'm pretty sure the God I was raised to believe in did not want things like that to happen to children. I saw the pictures. I saw the pictures of the young man. He looked like a Holocaust survivor. It was awful. God didn't want that. That wasn't God. That was the devil, and not the devil in him. That was the devil in these evil women that did that to him. And I saw how skinny that little girl was, and I saw the marks on her. That wasn't the devil in her. That was the devil, the demon inside these two horrid, nasty, disgusting women. And I have no grace for them. I don't feel sorry for either one of them. And I honestly don't believe that they believe they were working for the Lord. What they were doing was evil, and anyone who doesn't see that is ignorant. And it's disgusting. And the way when she went to her sentence and when she stood there and said, I love these children. That's not love. That's not how you love. That is not love. You got off on hurting those kids, Jodi. You got off on it. And you got off on sending those husbands away from all the women. I don't know how many it was, but I know Ruby was the last one. But I know you got off on that. I don't exactly know how, but it was fishy and suspicious. You hate men. You hate children. You don't seem to have a problem with women, though. So, anyway. Or women that will bow down to you and believe you and worship you. It's weird. You're a weird chick. But yeah, she got off on hurting those kids. That was not for the Lord. That was not for their ever-loving souls. That was demonic, what they did to those children. Demonic. So, yeah. So let me, no one said you can't discipline your children anymore. You can't starve them. You can't hogtie them. You can't treat the wounds you caused on them with cayenne pepper. Let's just go on to the next one.
What I'm saying is you're being crucified in public opinion.
Yeah.
So your fear has to be super prepared. And the only way he's going to get prepared is if you push him and ride him.
Okay, I will. I'll call him today.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem really animated. He seems like, the
Yeah,
pictures are going to destroy you. And I'm like, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. Those pictures we did not do. He did that to himself, yes. Did we put that on him and then he rubbed around and cut himself? Yes. But we didn't do that.
First of all, this woman she's talking to, she needs to be investigated as well. She needs to be investigated as well. I also hope that y'all are investigating this Pam Botcher lady. But everybody that is supporting Jodi needs to be investigated. They need to be looked at. Her former and most recent clients need to be investigated, because anybody who is hanging on her words, I promise you, are doing something nefarious to their children. And for her to be on that phone and say that she didn't put those wounds on that boy, he did it himself, they wouldn't be there if it wasn't for what she did to him. God, she is disgusting. She's disgusting. And yes, the pictures are going to bury you. So it's a good thing you pleaded guilty. But still arrogant. This is an arrogant woman. She's not taking any responsibility. She's just, she thinks that she's, really doing something outstanding by pleading guilty so the children don't have to testify. She's pleading guilty because she knows Ruby was going to testify against her, and she knew how that was going to look. And she's pleading guilty because she knows that she can go into prison and she can start her own happy little prison cult. And that's what she's going to do. She's going to start a prison cult. She's happy to go to a prison full of other women. She's going to love it there. It's right up her alley. A bunch of weak-minded criminals. She's going to have the time of her life in prison. Now, Ruby, I don't know. Prison, I was going to say, I don't know if she'll like it. Prison isn't made to be liked, but I think Ruby's going to have a more difficult time. But I don't think, I don't think Jodi's going to have too much of a difficult time with it. I mean, it's going to be difficult in terms of that it's prison, but no, I think Jodi's going to get a nice little following there. Everybody says she's charismatic. I don't see it, but I guess other people see it. And I wonder something else is about Jessie, Jodi's niece. I wonder if she would go to the prison and confront her. Would probably be very therapeutic for her to do that. I don't know if that's something she wants to do, but that would be very therapeutic for her. And as far as sentencing goes, we know the minimum and the maximum they're going to get, but we don't know exactly what their sentence is yet. And I want to know what the sentence is actually going to be. Is it going to be 4 years? Is it going to be 30 years? Is it going to be somewhere in between? I don't know, and I want to know. Yeah. But yeah, I saw those pictures and they're heinous, and I didn't need to see any of these pictures to know what happened was horrible, but the pictures really, and to see that boy walk up to the door and sit there with the man that called 911, it just really drove it home. And I honestly don't know if that boy would have survived another day or two. And that's when God came in. If there is a God, God saved, gave that little boy the strength, because he was emaciated. How he even had the strength to escape at all, but he did it. And because of that, he saved himself and he saved his sister. He's a better person than Ruby will ever be. He's a better person than Kevin will ever be. And while we're on the topic of Kevin, I was watching Vinnie Politan's live stream, and I usually don't watch live streams because I don't enjoy live streams. I don't watch the replays because some of them are just ridiculous. It's like 4 hours of, hi, Katie, hi, Catherine, hi, Geneva, and then 20 minutes of actual story or content. And I'm not there for that. I want content. And saying hi to each person that gives you a super chat isn't content to me. I mean, I would certainly, if I'm doing a live stream, will say hi to everybody who comes in, but I will take breaks. So Vinny does a pretty good job at it, though. But not that I get like 4 people in my live stream, so they're not that difficult to manage. Hold on, I got a gangly toenail here I want to cut. Okay. But anyway, about Kevin, people are still wondering, when is he going to be arrested? When are the charges coming for him? Well, for what? For what? I want to know. And I'm not in no way sticking up for him because, he grosses me out too. But for what? What exactly? What are the charges? The actual formal charges you think that he should be levied with? Because he was not there. They can't charge him with any kind of abandonment issue because they both admit that he wasn't there because of an agreement between the married couple. So it wasn't an abandonment issue. He was financially supporting his family. And he wasn't there for the ABUSC that was happening at Jodi's house. And he says he was unaware of it. And maybe none of you believe him. You don't have to believe him. But the police, I'm sure, have looked into him and they have found no evidence to connect him to it. So what charges? What formal charges should he have? And I think people go back to the 8 Passengers videos and think, well, that stuff. None of this is about the 8 Passengers channel. None of this is about what happened on 8 Passengers. That stuff is over and done with, and no one's being charged with anything from the 8 Passengers channel. Now, that may be something that's looked at in family court, but as far as criminal court, no, that's not being looked at. That's not being used. He can't be charged for anything that happened in those videos. Because there was nothing on its surface that was criminal enough to cause, what Ruby has caused now, if that makes sense to you. So they're not looking at the 8 Passengers channel. And I understand a lot of people think that they should both be in trouble for the 8 Passengers channel. And maybe you're all right. Maybe you're right about that, but it's just not going to happen. So that's over. I mean, get it out of your head, because no one's going to pay for what happened in those videos. Sorry, I'm not trying to start an argument or upset anyone, but yeah, that's it. And he's not going to be arrested for what happened with these 2 young kids at Jodi's house, because they have found no evidence that he was involved. And that's what you need to arrest someone and charge them with the crime. You need evidence. You need evidence. And they just didn't have it as far as Kevin was concerned. And I'm sure they looked into it. Oh, and also I wanted to talk about how Kevin wants Jodi to pay restitution to her 2 kids, or to his 2 kids, that she ABUSE'd. I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. But I think they will, and I hope that if this happens, that it goes into a trust for those kids so Kevin can't touch it. Yeah, so that's really it. That's all I have to say on the matter right now. And trust me, I wish that Kevin could get in trouble, but they're not going to do anything to him. So, you know, it's just not going to happen. I think that we haven't heard the last of this because we are going to hear the final sentence at some point, I would think, because I want to know. I want to know how much time they're actually going to do. And so that's coming. And we won't be privy to anything that happens in family court, but the family court stuff still needs to be worked out because I think the two youngest are still in custody of the Department of Children and Families or whatever it's called there. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. If, you know, we're made privy to that information at all. So anyway, that's really all I have to say. Sorry about all the ums. I'm ummy tonight. But I will talk to everyone later. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.